On Osrc News at 7, President Tinubu swears in ministers, demands restoration of faith in governance. Ondo residents set agenda for new ministers as acting governor Ayedatiwa are confident of Tuji Ojo's competence. Northeast Zonal Conference raises alarm over emerging security threats. And from the foreign scene, ECOWAS denies influence of foreign powers in decisions on Niger.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us on Osrc News at 7. My name is Sahid Aribisala. President Bola Tinubu has urged new ministers to make national interest their priority in the quest for a better Nigeria. The president, who spoke while swearing in his ministers in Abuja, said the ministers were selected based on personal experiences to continue with the work of nation building. Tinubu noted that the challenges before them could be very daunting. Said government was hell-bent on the push to introduce a renewed hope. Ondo State-born Olubunmi Tuji-Ojo was among 44 other ministers sworn in by the president. Osrc's Taiwo Adeomi reports.
I will not allow my personal interest to influence my official conduct or my official decisions, but I will do, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That in all circumstances, I will do right to all manner of people according to law. That I will not directly or indirectly communicate or reveal to any person any matter which shall be brought under my consideration or shall become known to me as Minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, except as may be required for the due discharge of my duties as Minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So help me God.
The ministers took oath of office one after the other after their citation was read by presidential spokesman Ajuri Ngelale. In a call to action, President Bola Tinubu urged the newly appointed ministers to collaborate with him by fulfilling the aspirations of Nigerians. The ministers were advised to distinguish themselves in the task ahead and also work hard as a team to achieve common goal. He said his administration, in line with the renewed hope agenda, would put smile on the faces of Nigerians in the area of delivery, accountability, and transparency.
They reflected the diversity of Nigeria and bring to their new roles an assortment of experience and expertise to help guide the nation's affairs and also continue to rebuild the nation and re-engineer all our finances and defects. Building blocks of Nigeria today and the future. Taking steps to begin implementing the agenda upon which I campaigned and for which I received the mandate of Nigerian people. With the inauguration of ministers today, we are about to accelerate our governing efforts move forward, realizing our best aspiration for Nigeria. It's all about a great team, and I believe we have them here. I've been called to distinguish yourself. It is me who know you. And delegates this authority. But the greatest number of Nigerians are highly expectant of delivery and accountability and transparency.
The president also admonished them to safeguard the nation's affairs, transform the economy, and ensure peace and safety in the country. 45 ministers were sworn in by President Bola Tinubu. Adewumi Taiwo, Osrc News.
Now that the new ministers have been welcomed on board, the current economic meltdown, security challenges, alongside other issues facing Nigeria as a nation, must be the priority of the newly inaugurated ministers of the Federation. Nigerians who spoke with Osrc in Accra, the Edo State capital, commended the timely appointment of ministers by President Bola Tinubu, saying it will help fast-track the actualization of his renewed hope agenda. Omori Olangbeji has.
One of the constitutional duties of President Bola Tinubu on assumption of office as a Nigerian president is the appointment of cabinet members who are expected to work with him to achieve the goals of nation building. Within 3 months into his administration, President Tinubu appointed and swore in 45 ministers to work with his vision. Tinubu had earlier said his administration's 8-point agenda will vigorously pursue and achieve his 80-page manifesto containing multi-sectoral policy options tagged Renewed Hope 2023 Action Plan for a Better Nigeria. An elder statesman, Mr. Ola Iwaeni, who lauded the ministerial choices of President Tinubu, reminded the new ministers that the expectations of Nigerians were high from the government.
Their job is well cut out for them. For instance, the Minister of Defense, he knows that we are facing a serious and precarious security situation that needs urgent attention, urgent tackling. All this killing of soldiers, killing of policemen, killing of civilians all over, bandits taking over some pockets of areas here and there, cannot be accepted and cannot be tolerated in the Federal Republic. So the Minister of Defense knows that he's up to his destiny. He must deliver. This new Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy that we are expecting will really jig up our economy. We're expecting something like when it is fully operational, that is a ministry that can put in about 7 trillion naira into the economy.
Chairman, Nigerian Union of Journalists, Ondo State Council, Leke Adegbite, harped on urgent attention to the state of economy, security, and decongestion of Nigerian prisons.
We want to appeal to Mr. Oyetola, Alhaji Oyetola, to give priority to Ondo Port in his whatever policy that he's going to come up with. We also want to appeal to our own son, Honorable Tunji Bumiojo. We know how congested our prison has been. He should work with the Ministry of Justice, the Attorney General, a refined senior advocate, Lateef Fagbemi. He should work with him on how to decongest our prison. Prison has turned to a place where criminals are being strengthened. They are not reforming anything. They are not correcting anything there.
To this respondent, he's neither here nor there, as his reactions speak volume.
You are seeing it. I don't believe any change is coming soon. To me, they are still the same people. See, this thing is just politics. Like politics has been embedded into our system. So it's still the same thing. Old story.
This swearing-in of the new ministers is expected to accelerate the promises made by the president to birth a new nation in all facets. Omori Olangbeji, Osrc News.
Well, the new Minister of the Federal Capital Territory has resumed his duty with some bold statements and his plans in the days ahead. Details of this after this break. Please stay.
Take it from me, the mind-blowing way to do things is the Glow LTE advanced way. When you stream, it's like you're in the drama itself. When you make calls, you reach where others can't. Coffee! Doing business is like running Wall Street from your street.
Moments family moments with your love. Celebrate these delicious moments with Indomie noodles. Indomie noodles, tasty nutrition, good for you.
LTE, advanced way. When you stream, it's like you're in the drama itself. When you make calls, you reach where others can't. Cookie! Doing business is like running Wall Street from your street. And when you play,
I did beat the guy. We'll see about that.
It's like traveling the world without moving an inch.
Is that Toby in your room?
You can download in the blink of an eye in 4K.
Go, go.
And when you go for your dreams, it's like running with the strength of 3 nations behind you.
Glow LTE Advanced, the power of 3 data networks in one. Get a Glow SIM or dial *301#.
Moments to laugh with Indomie. Moments to learn with Indomie. Moments to care with Indomie. Moments to share with Super Moms create special family moments with your love. Celebrate these delicious moments with Indomie noodles. Indomie noodles, tasty nutrition, good for you.
Thanks for rejoining us on the news tonight. You can watch us live on our website, www.osrc. The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has assumed official duties as the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory today, following his inauguration by President Bola Tinubu. Wike, alongside his Minister of State, Maria Mahmood, arrived at the FCTA after the swearing-in ceremony at the Presidential Villa to hold their first press conference. Nyesom Wike at the press conference sounded a demolition warning to landlords of properties distorting the master plan of Abuja. The former Rivers State Governor's warning also went out to landowners who are taking over the green areas to build properties, saying those areas must come back.
People who are distorting the master plan of Abuja, too bad. So you can look at refuse everywhere. Those who are paying for refuse collection, what are they doing? So we must also sit down to look at differently ways of waste management or waste disposal. It is very, 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 very key. All those people who are distorting the master plan of Abuja, too bad, too bad. If you know you have built where you're not supposed to build, it will go down. It will go down. Be a minister of anywhere, be an ambassador. If you know you have developed where you're not supposed to develop, your house must go what? Down. Those who have taken over the green areas to build, sorry, our parks must come back. The green areas must come back. If you hate green, you must hate yourself. So if you know you have anybody who is involved that have taken over the green areas, have taken over the parks, to where you now do restaurants, no, we will not accept that. Sorry.
The acting governor of Ondo State, Lucky Ayedatiwa, has congratulated Olubunmi Tujojo on his inauguration as the Minister of Interior by President Bola Tinubu. The acting governor said the appointment is a recognition of his dedication to service and the impressive achievements recorded while serving the people of Akoko Northeast. The Broadcasting Organization of Nigeria has expressed optimism that the newly sworn-in Minister of Information and National Orientation Former President of the Nigeria Bar Association, Olisa Agbakoba, SAN, has urged the new Attorney General of Federation, AGF, and Minister Stakeholders at the opening of the 12th Northeast Zonal Conference of State Directors of Security have expressed grave concern over emerging security threats and criminalities capable. The Kano State Governorship Election Petitions Tribunal has reserved judgment in the petition filed by the All Progressives Congress (APC) challenging the Any nation striving towards boosting the economic growth and development will lay emphasis on entrepreneurship. This is one out of many suggestions of Nigerians to the President, Bola Tinubu. Omori Langbuji was in Accra, the Ondo State capital, to sample opinions of Nigerians and their expectations from the Tinubu administration on job creation. The report. We'll bring you that story in the course of the bulletin. Nigeria is a nation of over 200 million people with about 200,000 kilometers of road. These roads are the most important means of transportation in the country, responsible for the movement of about 80% of the country's population and goods from one location to another. The road network is often overcrowded with drivers that lack education and basic driving skills, fueling a surge in the number of road crashes and fatalities. In this report, Joy Pius takes a look at some ethical road use values and the impact of the Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, to return the eroding values to Nigerian roads.
Globally, over 1.3 million lives are lost on the roads annually, and in Nigeria, about 40 million deaths are registered from road carnages, a disturbing record begging for efficient administration and management of the roads. As of fourth quarter of 2021, speed violations led to over 2,000 road crashes in Nigeria, while sign or light violations caused 312 accidents. Wrongful overtaking accounted for 287 of the mishaps. Dangerous driving was to blame for 275 accidents. Tire bursts caused 164, among other reasons. Despite these staggering figures, disregard for traffic rules remains unabated, raising questions about the effectiveness of road safety operatives. What began as a civil organization set up by Professor Wole Soyinka in Oyo State metamorphosed into the Federal Road Safety Commission (FRSC) in 1988, and now it is known and referred to as the Federal Road Safety Corps. The initial mandate is to prevent or minimize accidents on the highway, clear obstructions, and educate drivers, motorists, and other members of the public on the proper use of the highways. The alarming rate of unethical road use and eroding values on the road is raising serious concerns that perhaps the FRSC is not doing enough to checkmate the excesses of road users in terms of overtaking from the right side, the use of headphones by drivers and motorcyclists while driving, and other acts of recklessness.
Around here, we don't normally used to obey rules. Likewise, you can play sand, but you don't earpiece. Putting earpiece into your two ears are not allowed. Then overtaking from the right-hand side is highly prohibited.
When you call yourself a driver, you must know the road sign. When you know the road sign, you will know how to control your motor in major road. But some people are driving in major road without knowing all this road sign. That is why it causes the accident. But when you just ask them to pay, they pay to government coffers and they still go ahead driving around with the tire. Remove the tire, give them the correct one, they will pay. Then if they are paying, they still pay to the government.
How effective is the FRSC at enforcing and punishing violators of road regulations, if one may ask? Mr. Ezekiel Sonanla is the commander, Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, Ondo State.
So sometimes you see people, even in the midst of oncoming traffic, they want to overtake. By so doing, you are risking your own life, like I said, and then you are risking the lives of other road users. And people that does that, if they are arrested, we impound them directly to the office here. I want to appeal to our motorists, please don't use phone while driving. Park and receive your code.
Worrisome also is the rate of vehicles with faded number plates plying the roads, with serious implications on the security of citizens.
I want the general public to understand that you cannot see such numbers in our database. So if anything happens, peradventure such a vehicle is stolen, it will be difficult to recover it. And so you must ensure that if your vehicle is using old number plate, I want to appeal to the motoring public that they must go to the MLA, Board of Internal Revenue, and ensure that the vehicle has the new number plate, not old number plate.
Statistics revealed that out of the leading causes of road accidents in Nigeria in the fourth quarter of 2021, bad road was only responsible for 50 accidents, compared to speed violations, sign or light violations, and wrongful overtaking, with cumulative alarming figure of 3,539. The disturbing revelations indicated that unethical practices on Nigerian roads manifested in irresponsive and irresponsible actions of individuals must be tackled headlong.
if Nigeria is determined to reduce the rates of carnages on its roads. Joy Pius, OSRC News.
And now on the foreign scene, the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, has disproved claims of money. Now to sports. Nigeria's Super Falcons have been